Well, they're in. The high seas allocations are here. So pardon little wet spots on the shirt. We have... Oh boy, do we have a moment. I said this back in January, and I think the first time might have been January or December. Someone probably remembers. Might have been February, but it was around there. And I said this statement. I was like, as the big three continue to take off, what inevitably happens is all of the side games, the smaller ones, the Kickstarters, all the other shenanigans, they follow in turn. Now, here we are with High Seas allocation. Hunted, I had effectively, I didn't have like a no limit order, but I ended up getting almost 1,000 boxes. I had option on 1,000, I think, total. I passed on 100. I took home, I think it was like 880 something boxes total, something like that. But I didn't get the other 300 or 400 until after the fact. So those came in afterwards, which is fine. Now, here we are with High Seas. Now, full disclosure, I got just under 500 boxes. I had requests. Keep in mind, requests. This is important. I had requests for almost 800 boxes. Basically everything that I got last time. What I normally do is I keep about 200 boxes to do a mass opening, and then I have been trying to keep between 100 and 200 boxes, whatever's left after my mass opening, between 100, usually around 100 to 150 boxes, somewhere between 100 and 200, somewhere they call it 150. But that remaining 200 to 300 boxes, whatever's left, goes on my shelves, and it sits there, and I just wait. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And it's fine. I did this I started doing it with Heavy Hitters and Mistveil. I didn't have as much left over, but I tried. Rosetta was the first time I had all 200 plus boxes of what I wanted. Hunted, I had over 200 boxes. Again, I had like 76 cases of Hunted at the peak, I think, left over. That was after my big rip and everything else. So I had a pretty hefty amount. Now I'm down to like 33 cases, I think. Something like that. Here we are in High Seas. I am of two mindsets. There's two things that could be occurring here, right? One, which is what everyone thinks. LSS short printed the game. Oh my God, why would they short print it? Blah, 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 blah. The other option is we now have two sets in a row, Rosetta, Hunted, about to be a third, High Seas, sitting at MSRP, insert MSRP in quotes, and it's selling. Huge, huge thing right here. It's selling at MSRP. Normal market here. You can go order Pokemon. You can go order Yu-Gi-Oh! You can go order Magic. You can go order Flesh and Blood. Everything is available. This is the normal market. You may not be able to go buy 1,000 boxes of everything available, but everything is available usually. You can go buy a pretty good amount of stuff. We have entered the market where there is literally zero Pokemon in distro. Like, it comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. Like, that's how fast, it's like in and out, gone by. There's no delay. I wouldn't even be one bit surprised if they even take it off the trucks. They probably go they might unpack like 2 pallets so they can like spread it around or whatever. They might just like slap shipping labels right back on those pallets. That's what I would do. Like, Jesus, like truck in, truck out. Like, it's just like, oh my God. Inevitably, as this product supply becomes zero, Pokemon bleeds into Magic. Magic bleeds into Yu-Gi-Oh! Rinse and repeat. This pattern begins to happen. I saw this starting back in January, December, February, somewhere in there. On Friday, after the TCG player sale, I will show you guys the Pokemon data that I have and when I started recording this, because I knew this was going to happen. It was inevitable. We have rolled into the point now where even Flesh and Blood is starting to be affected by this. I had my allocation cut from almost 1,000 boxes down to under 500. Now, your automatic thought is, oh my God, LSS short printed, they cut the print run by 50%. No, hold on. I don't think they did. What I think is happening is the Pokemon effect. That's what I'm going to dub it, the Pokemon effect, right? What you have is multiple sets in a row that are selling at MSRP or above. Everyone and their mother is now looking for any product that they can proceed to purchase and sell. You have stores that have overhead. They need to be able to cycle product. If Flesh and Blood drops product and says, hey, here's our order, all these accounts that weren't previously ordering Flesh and Blood are now probably ordering Flesh and Blood in order to sell it at MSRP. Or even do the quick Timmy move and be like, oh man, well, if it's selling at like 100's selling at 500, Rosetta's selling at like 430, I can just pick up like 3 cases because cost is between $60 and $64 a box. Again, I got my cost spiked from one distro to $64 a box. Not super pleased about that, but it is what it is. The end result is that they're going to be like, oh, well, I can just go quickly sell this for $350 to some buddies that I know who go hawk this crap all the time. I can order 10 or 15 cases or even 50 boxes, and they'll take all 10 to 20 cases. I'll make a quick $2,000. That's most of the mortgage payment. Hello? There's a reason why they're doing this. It's most of the mortgage payment at $2,000. Like, that's like just... And then those people will then take it and flip it and quick move it. This whole cycle is occurring. We're seeing it everywhere. There's nothing available that people want, so they're taking anything that's moving at MSRP. Now, this market is excessively hot. It is... Pokemon's like just on fire. Magic is on fire. Fab is now officially on fire. I imagine Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't follow it, but I imagine Yu-Gi-Oh! Is doing something very similar. Someone can comment down below. I literally don't check any Yu-Gi-Oh! Prices. If someone has a Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection, I ingest it and I ship it off to my buddy Ruxin and he takes it. That is literally my process for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I don't make money on it. I just immediately give it to him. That was like kind of like my thank you to him for his original help with the channel. So like that's kind of where that is. And I also I don't have time for another game. Like I have Magic, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood. Like there's just too much. So we now have this effect hitting Flesh and Blood. All these new accounts are like, oh God, well, I can just order a couple of cases or I can do this. And if the print run stays the same, which is what I'm assuming, which also would make the most sense, even if they go like down like 10%, like it's not going to do this. It's like 250,000 boxes of product probably, at least, if not more. Normally, when I order 1,000 boxes, that's fine. My buddy who does mass singles, he orders a couple thousand boxes, does all of his singles business, does all that stuff. I know someone else that orders 1,000, like 3,000 or 4,000 boxes. And, you know, between the 3 or 4 of us, you know, we wipe out 10,000 boxes probably. We're sizable chunks of the account. And then Rudy comes in and he rolls out with his 4,000 boxes. And it's all gone. And that's just the way it be. Now, we enter the fun times here. If you previously had, I don't know if this number is accurate, but I heard it floating around. If you have around 1,500 accounts, I could be totally wrong with this, so let's assume it's bullshit. 1,500 accounts, right? Splitting up 250,000 boxes. That's a lot of boxes. That's a lot of accounts. Like, not 1,000 boxes per account, but like, you know, 25 plus boxes account, somewhere in there, 530 boxes, which in theory should be plenty for most local scenes. There's going to be some that only order a case or 2. There's going to be some that order 10, rinse, repeat, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be all over the place. Now, if you go from 1,500 accounts to, I don't know, say 5,000, because every sports store is now also ordering Pokemon, because they want free tendies. It's free money. Free money. We don't order Pokemon for the rest of the year. Past 3 years, but oh man, I got that account. I'm getting that bread. Like that's sports stores right now. And there's also a lot of other stores that don't order Flesh and Blood that are like, oh yeah, Fab's 2 sets in a row. Fire. Let's get some free tendies. Like Tendy Army. Yeah. Like that's literally what's happening is you have all these additional people that are now ordering product. I know across the board, we got devastated. I do not believe for a singular second that Flesh and Blood cut the print run by 50+%. I think that would be one of the most bananas plays I've ever heard of. Full disclosure with what I kept 10% for damaged, and I kept about, I think it was 8 cases for openings and stuff like that. And for the channel here, that's not a ton of product, right? I normally open up 150 to 200 boxes, like for singles to go sell on TCG Player. I fuel the store with this. I sell sealed after the fact. Like, this is not like, I'm not like dumping product at $3 over cost, right? Like, there's a very specific process I have, and it's a very specific order in how things go. This has now entered the Pokemon effect. I got cut by 50%. I had to cut basically everyone's requests also by 50%. I had people that were requesting 100 plus boxes. I was able to get them. Some people I got a few cases. A couple other people, they were paying much higher margins. You know, it's just, it is what it is. Anyone that was paying for like 1 or 2 cases, I made sure to get them at least taken care of. It's a bloodbath right now, and that's kind of where we're at. The Pokemon effect has come in full tilt here, and it is brutal. I don't think the print run has been cut. I could be totally wrong with that, but I don't think I am. Logically speaking, if the print run had truly been devastated, like just murked from the freaking stratosphere, like everyone's like, oh, it's a 50% print run cut, oh my god, there's some other things that I would have expected to see, and we aren't seeing them. So the interesting thing that we have going on now is this super hot set. It's not available. It's sold out everywhere. There's nothing left. I will eventually get some damaged cases back from my pallet of probably between 6 and 10 cases. They're just gonna be bricked. I will eventually get those back, and I will sell those at probably MSRP. Now, what do I think is going to happen? This product is going to be absolutely mass opened. Like, it is going to be devastated. I will record my openings probably en masse. I will probably do 12. I'll probably do 12 videos, which is 6 cases, and then I will probably do a video that is the gold packs, and I will keep probably 2 or 3 cases behind to like slot in openings as needed, and that will get us through to the next release and kind of where we want to be. Now, what I think is going to happen, I do believe there will be another wave. What this wave looks like, I do not know. It might say like High Seas W2 for like wave 2 or something like that, and there just won't be the James White cold foils in there. They could do a totally different set of special inserts because the set was just in such demand. They might do like artist prints or something. I don't know. There's a whole lot of ways they could reprint this and still retain that like insane level of spice. When that does happen, I believe there will be a very interesting opportunity. Is this crooked? I don't know, whatever. There will be a very interesting opportunity because you will see for the first time 2 distinct SKUs that will occur when this happens, because there will be a V1 and a V2. And the last time we had this was when Flesh and Blood was doing the first edition and unlimited print cycles. This will unintentionally, I think, recreate that first edition / second edition set, kind of like how Weiss does things with their gold and silver SIGs. And I think we'll have a very interesting case study for Flesh and Blood on how that actually does. I think, in my honest opinion, I think the print run is between 250 and 300,000 boxes. LSS has been around there for quite a while now. They were there through Uprising and several other sets afterwards when they announced those print runs. Print runs and prices were fairly stable through Mistvale, through Heavy Hitters. They went up a lot in Rosetta. I think Rosetta is probably, if they cut anywhere, it was probably Rosetta. Rosetta is probably where they did the small cut. And then, as everyone has heard, Hunted had a problem with print quality, and a large chunk of it was delayed. So there is a wave 2 of that coming. I have continued to sell through my first wave. Whenever I do get the option to order the next chunk of Hunted, I will try and reorder another probably 400 boxes. If that does happen, I might do a short sale out. I don't know. I probably won't, though, because I'm just going to keep it in MSRP. The set is so good. I warned everyone on the Hunted. I don't think so. I think a lot of people didn't listen. It is what it is. I am not going to issue the same warning on High Seas because I think there is a interesting dynamic that is going to be created between the product being sold out completely, the demand being insane, the Pokemon effect is here, and then the inevitability of them probably having to print a second wave. And I'm not sure how that's going to look. But we will see what happens. And I might be totally surprised, and LSS might have already planned for this and said, hey, we expected this once this was sold out. What we did is we held back some of the one-of-ones, and we held back 3 of the cold foils that James White was going to insert, and we reordered a wave 2. It's an additional 35% print run or something, and we'll find out what that looks like. And they might do it that way. That would be another way that I could see it working out really well. But who knows? We'll see. I think High Seas is going to do exceptionally well. I think against everyone's opinions, I think the singles are actually going to be very, very strong in the set. People don't realize how much Hunted was actually opened, and it's been smashed. Like, Hunted was smashed. That entire whatever is out there got opened and sold as singles. Like, it is all out there as singles right now. And look at the singles prices. I don't think for 1 second that High Seas with 250,000 boxes printed is going to do anything different. I think the only difference that we're going to see is there's going to be some initial softness in the market as everything floods, and that will be a fantastic window for those of you that buy singles to pick your singles up. And this is the warning I will issue. If you don't pick your singles up quickly, you will probably regret it. There might be 1 or 2 that you're like, oh man, I should have waited. But overall, this is probably going to be that set, and I could be wrong, but I think if you don't pick up your singles quickly, you're going to go, crap, because you're going to miss the boat. But what do I know? I'm just a donkey that collects cardboard and Pokemon pins because Zapdos is my burb, because he's the burb. Bye.